Good morning, Jeff Africa, Jeff Africa's Last Dance, the channel. We're falling from the head to the heart and creating a whole new life, living that whole open heart, whole heart resonance. Okay, as we make ourselves through the day, we live this heart chakra, we live the compassion, we live the empathy, we live the tenderness, the respect, the gentleness, we live the humility, we live the authenticity, we live the sovereignty. All these are just words, but when you get to the heart and you open up that heart, these words become states and expressions of truth, not just words anymore. Okay, that's what we're doing on this channel, and I am the master of ceremonies. So good morning. Beautiful stuff going down here in California. My favorite season, the fall. And I'm getting some nice stuff done. Very, very nice stuff. Going up to the lake yesterday, did some nice breathing. That I'm telling you, get out in nature, get yourself a pranayama breathing technique. I use Sudarshan Kriya, and I'm recommending that to you now, personally. And meditate. Do both those. And you come to a very, very nice place. You're breathing in nature when you're up in the hills a little bit. You know, you don't have to go way out up there, but you're breathing in nature. And the trees, and I clear the air with the violet flame of Saint Germain, and make sure the air's nice and clean. And I do a nice long breathing spell with meditation interspersed. I lay on Mother Earth that when I'm done and say hello to her. What better way to get reconnected to yourself? What better way? I tell Mother Earth, your body is my body, Mother Earth. Your vibration is my vibration. Your love is my love. Your fifth dimensional frequencies and vibrations are my fifth dimensional frequencies and vibrations. Apparently she's a little bit ahead of us. And we're having to catch up to her in her vibrations. And what better way to get connected to yourself and have your energies meld and harmonize than laying right on Mother Earth. I take my clothes off. I know, I'm a little nuts, but I do it. All right. Grasp the feeling of expansiveness in expression. Grasp the feeling of expansiveness in expression. We all tend to hunker down as we go out through the day. I see it, okay? We hunker down and we tend to stay to ourselves. We are a little fearful, a little bit, and the whole movement of life is a contrast of contraction to expansion. The more we feel like we're expanded in each and every moment of the day, the better. Go forth in expansive experimentation. Go forth in expansive experimentation. Okay, that's another good tool, another good thing to always be aware of as we stay ever alert and ever increasing awareness. These things here we become more alert and more aware to. Go forth in expansive experimentation. Okay, now I wanted to continue just a little bit on the last. I was explaining how our mechanized food production ways of ours has us unhealthy. All our mechanization of our food supply is too far away from the ground and earth. I go to the farmer's market in Los Gatos. I get the freshest produce you can imagine right out of the earth. You know, and then I bring them home and I eat a lot of those raw. You know, I barely go to restaurants even anymore, even the good ones. They're expensive, number one, and I can just do much better work here, although it is fun to go out when you can do it and it's okay, but you got to pick a nice restaurant. They're compromised entities and they're trying to make a buck, and it's hard to make money in Just as we have mechanized our food supply, all the fast foods and chips and wasting all this Mother Earth's resources and getting us food that's killing us, all these things are music and movies. It would be better if 70% of the music we listen to and 70% of the music movies we go see weren't produced at all. Okay, all they are is dampening our awareness and our spiritual alertness. Okay, they become a poison, just like our food has become a poison. Our music industry, the movie industry, big pharma, education, corporate indoctrination, they all are poisoning us in one way or another. You see, that's why the whole thing has to come crashing down. It would be better if, like I say, if 70% of the music today weren't produced at all. Okay, it is inhibiting our spiritual development. Movies, 70%. Be better if they weren't made at all, inhibiting our spiritual growth and development. All right, big pharma. I see all these older people taking panfuls of pills because they've eaten the shit their whole lives, and now they got to take handfuls of pills from big pharma to supposedly get better, and it does not get. Even that is killing them. You know, even our pharma is killing us. Our educational system, I've explained to you, is more of an indoctrination system rather than they're teaching us how to think. Once again, that has to go. It has to go. We have to start educating ourselves, really, or bringing education back to the local community and starting it all over, getting rid of the teacher union, the big government educational system. It has to go. It just has to go. We have to take it into our own hands. So just as our food is poisoning us, we've managed to get to a point where we've mechanized it and it is more of a poison than actual nutrition. So are all these other things poisoning us, okay? And it'd be better if they were just gone. But there are some good movies being made. There are some good the good music is the music you don't hear about. You know, we tend to think of popular culture, music, commercial, celebrity as a music when we see it so pervasive. But there are some good music. But it's you got to go looking for it. You got to go try and find it because music is a wonderful thing. It's just another shit show, you know, all those things, and that's why I'm telling you it all has to come crashing down. Got it? They are all a suppressive element to what we have to do right now, which is start to take spiritual charge of our consciousness growth. Okay, they are. We just step away from them, as I'm telling you now. What's most important for me right now is looking at my inner life, my inner light, and doing the things that grow these elements in me. Okay, not so much taken away with these outer things that we have going on in this 3D world. I'm focused inward and taking my spirituality to the next consciousness level. That's what we have to do. If we're going to make it to the fifth dimension, that's what we have to do. A lot of energies and lights are coming into our planet right now, and they're going to help us tremendously. There is no better time than to do this right now. And the ultimate, getting to the heart, opening up that door to the kingdom of heaven within. Okay? And that's the fifth dimension right there. You know, we don't have to wait. I'm not waiting for the fifth dimension like a lot of these people are. I'm doing it right now, okay, as I'm encouraging you to do it right now. Now, let's quickly talk about egoic self-will and effort versus the effortless divine flow of the universe. Okay, in the morning, the first thing I do is get to my heart. I told you how I do that. Go back and look. I'll tell you it again one time. I'm not going to tell you to it now. I put my hands on my chest, start breathing in through my mouth, and try to fall at that tender time where your consciousness isn't so fixed in your mind, and get to that heart and sense life from that heart chakra. Okay, and as you open up that heart, you can more easily determine And I then seek to determine what the divine flow would like me to do that day. What would the flow suggest? And what would acting in accordance with that divine flow look like? And that is what I'm stepping toward now, as opposed to effortful self-will and egoic self-effort. Okay, we think that we have, in this harsh, cold, mind-oriented world, we have to effortfully, willfully, by our own means, go get what we want. Okay, what about the easier way of effortless divine flow? It is more available and more easily apprehended as we fall to the heart. Okay, and we get rid of that idea of doership, and we let that divine flow enter us, and we just allow that to work for us. That's what I discovered in the breathing, letting that, staying in the moment, staying in each breath, staying in each moment, slow it all down and let the flow take over and let the flow do it for you. You understand that? Jesus, now this is very interesting. When Jesus went, and this is the 9 letters of Jesus Christ. When he was in the desert and he got his enlightenment, essentially, he was coming out of the desert. He was in there for 6 weeks, according to the 9 letters of Jesus Christ. And he was hungry. And he said he found out, and was gifted with the ability to transform matter at that point. All right? And he could have he went to turn a stone into a loaf of bread, which is really an amazing thing when you think about it. Transmute a stone into a loaf of bread. And he went to do it, but then something inside him stopped him. And he thought, this isn't what I want to do here. This isn't in accordance to what I've been taught in these last 6 weeks. I want to be supplied by Father, the Father. He said, the universal loving presence. I want him to supply what I need right now. So he did not turn that stone into a loaf of bread. And he looked up and he said, Father, I hunger. I am hungry. And within a short time, this guy walks by and has some meat and some bread and some wine for him to have. He seemed to appear out of nowhere. And it was an interesting experience. He was saying how he wanted to go back to Jerusalem, telling this guy he wanted to go back to Jerusalem and to teach what he had just learned. And the guy kind of said, it's going to take a couple of millennia for them to get where you're at and what you're going to teach. It's not going to happen right away. But that is a good parable, you could say, in what I'm talking about right now. Is as we look spiritually grow and look to have ourselves supplied with by the universal loving intelligence, supplied with the things that we need and desire and want to awaken and want to the dreams that we have, we allow that to we keep spiritually growing and getting to a place where we don't really want or need anymore, and we're in a very we're at a consciousness place where we enjoy where we're at, and we don't feel as though we particularly desire or really have to go get something. And then with these things in that state, then in that contented state, in that desireless state, in that place of expansion and expression and spaciousness, these things are laid out for us by the divine universal loving consciousness, as he would put it. He called it Father, but that's what he really meant. He meant the universal loving intelligence is what he terms it. That's everywhere around us and within us at all times. And that's what I'm getting to, an illumined being that are able to receive, perceive, sense, and feel the divine presence within me and all around me. That's a literal definition of a mushroom, ecstatic mushroom, magic mushroom experience. That's what I experienced on magic mushrooms, is the feeling of the divine presence within me and all around me, and talk about a crackling, fresh life. I mean, holy shit, it's really, really nice. I haven't done it for, decades, but man, I never forgot it. And that's where I want to get, because I mean, that turns that old, boring, dead life into a much wonderful expression of life. And you feel as though you're not dead anymore. You feel as though, wow, I'm really living right now. I'm really alive right now. This is what life is all about right now. See? That is where I think I want to step toward. And you should consider it also the willful creation, egoic, self-will, and effortful way. If you want to play with that, go ahead. But I am looking to team up with the divine, universal, loving consciousness, and to work with it in a playful manner in getting what I want. And I'll have to have some kind of I don't want to call it effort, but you combine it with that flow, and it comes to you a lot better. After all, we're all expressions of that divine flow, individuated. Okay, so when I come up with a song, or not a song so much, but a little guitar ditties I come up with, it's really the flow working through me, creating that. When most musicians, or let's say to pick musicianship, come up with songs, it's really the flow working through them, and to come up with that song, and then they do craft it and compose it more in a mental way, and you can get good at that to enhance it and become a complete song, as we would think of as a song, that's what the process is. It's not so much they're coming up with it all by themselves, that they're allowing the flow come through them and create the music, and then they enhance it with their musical knowledge and things they've taught themselves. There is that component of it. So it is a combination of working it out and it flowing into you. That is just one example of, and then what happens is as they get more and more successful, more and more ego-headed, more and more into the celebrity of the success and the money and of all that, then they start to cut that flow out, and they lose the inspiration. And they aren't the same ever again, because they've bit the apple, in a way, I guess you could say. And it's their innocence, that the creative innocence gets turned under, because they become a man of the world and money and power. And I know a musician who said this. He said his friends, almost every single one of them, the more success they got in music, the more money they got, the bigger houses they bought, the less happy they were. They ultimately become less happy because of the wrong-headed way of going about their success and the capturing of that flow that they initially experienced. But that's what I want to bring up, the difference between egoic, self-will, and effort, as opposed to just stepping and allowing and into the divine flow, and apprehend that, and you can do that act in more accordance with that divine flow. The greater you get, the more you get into that heart and start living that heart chakra, which is what this channel is all about. Okay, let's end this right here, right now. Let's not go any further. And that's it. I'm trying to keep this a little bit shorter, but this is the way I'm going to go, and I'm suggesting that you take a look at it and see how it appeals to you. But you have to do the spiritual work. I'm doing some great meditations in the morning. That 3:30 to 4:30, 3 to 4:30 time slot for meditation is something special. And I've been asked to do that, and I've been doing that. and it is you get deeper, and I can go an hour and a half with no trouble at all because it's very pleasant. Meditation for me is not a discipline; it's a pleasantry. Okay, and that's what it becomes after a while. And that's why you want to start meditation, start small. 12 minutes in the morning, 12 minutes at night. Usually they recommend twice a day. Start right there and let it take over you, and you begin to see the benefit of it. And it's the counteracting of being hypnotized to this 3D world and all its ways that really breeds nothing. It's nothing but an illusion. And people that stay there in this 3D world, even if they get successful, end up with nothing, because it really is nothing. It's just a bunch of shadows on a wall. This 3D world, that's all it truly is. Okay, all right, and the only way to make sense of it is to go inward, and the way to do that is to meditate. The breathings, our techniques, and combinations thereof are very, very nice. Also, that's it. J. Africa's Last Dance. A citizen of Earth. A proud citizen of Earth, loyal patriot, proud citizen of Mother Earth, loyal patriot of the United States of America, and I stand unafraid. I stand unafraid. We're heading for some times now where that's going to be very, very important. All the people of my ilk are going to have to make sure we understand that we stand unafraid. Okay, we're not shaken by these things coming up. And these four, Mother Earth, Divine Mother, Paramahansa Yogananda, and Jeshua Ben Joseph, I hold them dear. I hold them within me, as well as Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Mother Absolute, and my friend Purple. I'll tell you about that sometime. My friend Purple. I hold them near and dear, and we all make my way from my head to my heart to live a brand new life in a brand new way. The way that all of us should aspire to make our lives alive, no longer the dead, walking through a dead life like a zombie. Okay, like having dead moments, way more dead moments than alive moments. All right, and this is how we get that done. All right, so thank you for listening, and next time.